protector and provider, super.
Hey, what's up? It's Presley Tennant from The Voice, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show on Roku and YouTube.
Dark and made it brighter. Wish it could be half that strong.
I will make it.
If I can make it through the night, just to see a brighter side. 'Cause I've been working all my life just to make it. If I can make it through the night.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. Thanks for joining us today. Y'all know I love to read, right? I like to read. At one point, it was not the story when I was growing up. I was not an avid reader, but I love to read a good book. And I want to shout out to this special person who is a #1 bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list. My girl, my auntie, Tabitha Brown. I was able to see her when she came to South Carolina a few weeks ago and just be a part of her book tour. And just an amazing experience. So congratulations to you and to your success. Keep going, girl. Keep going, because that's your business. Very good. Very good. Our authors today are changing lives through their words. We have Dr. Dariel D.T. Henry as he gives back to athletics, students that want to pursue that in school and how to go about that process to get there once they graduate from high school. And also we have Elder Willie E. Hines Jr. I was able to work with him within his book journey, and he has an incredible story to tell, so don't you go away. Back in a moment. Coming up, my mentor, Dr. Dariel D.T. Henry. Back in a moment. Next, Finkley. Celebrity photographer Marcus Jones is with us. And the SOS for Life team is with us to talk about their fantastic organization and how they get that. It's a party all up and through here. Next, Finkley. Monday. Keeping your skin flawless and clean is important, and I have the products just for you. Welcome to Mimi's Natural Pantry, where she specializes in homemade handcrafts, including lye and goat milk soaps, body butters, and sugar scrubs. All items are handmade products. All items have simple ingredients and are vegan friendly. In a world where you can barely pronounce many of the ingredients in your everyday products, Mimi's Back to Nature offers an alternative choice for those who are ready to get back into nature. Ready to order? Visit their website at mimisnaturalpantry.com. All orders over $50 have free shipping up to 25 pounds. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, my next guest is very, very special to me, I must say, because he is my dear mentor. And being my mentor, he's also an educator and also an author with many other different titles out there, but we will talk about that as well. He is Dr. Dariel D.T. Henry. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I just have to take the time out and just say we met last year, and it was a instant connection. And we were talking, and I said, you know what? I want this man to be my mentor. And I asked him, and he's like, okay. And I'm telling you, he has been there for me when I had questions or just needed to talk. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule just to mentor a little country boy from South Carolina.
I got you, man. Each one teach one, iron sharpens iron. So, I know it's worth it, man. It's important.
Definitely is. Definitely is. So I appreciate you. And so when we talk about, when I look at you, I think of service, right? You service so many different people. How did that concept come into your book of life? Were you always serving people at an early age?
Yeah, I believe of it like this. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I am the son of a preacher. Late great Pastor John Kahn. And my father used to say, you can't save the people without serving the people. Can't lead the people without loving the people. And I took that to heart and said, okay, that's what I want to do. And I've always saw myself as a leader, always wanted to be in charge, always wanted to be the captain, because I figured I know the answer, I know how to get us there. But in being a leadership role, it comes with service. And so I'm the type, even in my party life, if I'm having fun, everybody got to have. So let me serve everybody. Let's do it. So that's always, it's kind of been a part of my life from a young age, and then just kept going from there. In anything that I was doing that was a part of that there.
And I tell you, you do such an amazing job with it. And as you said, you have it in different aspects of your life, throughout your life. And one of those aspects we want to really talk about is through your passion for education. Right now, you are in the realm of higher education, dealing with colleges and universities. What does that role look like for you? You've been doing it for a while. So what does that look like for you now?
Right. So in my overall theme in higher ed, I help first generation, low income, students of color, students that struggle. I help them navigate the college environment. I help them persist academically. And I've done that in different roles, student activities, as a Res Life director. I worked in tech support for a while. But right now, I was an academic advisor for a while. My current roles, my titles, at one college, I'm at Bristol Community College, where I'm the director of TRIO. We have 3 programs there: SSS, Student Support Services, Upward Bound, and Talent Search. And those programs work with first generation students, low income students, students with academic needs. So we do all kinds of things, provide tutoring for them, dual enrollment courses. We provide cultural awareness for them, operations awareness, career awareness. So we take them on different trips, college tours, all of those things. We use our funds to help students navigate the environment and then become more aware of who they can be and what they can do in life, right? And then on another role that I do, I work at Regis College, where I'm the co-founder and the recruiter of the Regis Diverse Educator Program, where we recruit students each year to be education majors with 5 full tuition scholarships. So I have those each year, and I go around and I recruit students for that. So those are the 2 roles that you would see me at the college. Then within higher ed, I do presentations, workshops on leadership, DEI work. I speak to football teams about transferring football skills to academic success for the classroom. So that's why I work in higher ed in those roles. And I still do a little bit of tech stuff here and there. But yeah, mainly in that leadership, professional development, all of that good stuff.
DT, when do you sleep?
Yeah, on a plane here or there, in an Uber sometimes. That's my goal. I feel like I need a driver so I can sleep and do work more, because driving is getting in my way. Seriously.
Oh, wow. And I definitely understand where you're coming from, in my background as well within higher education, also with my consulting firm, and even working with you on various projects with your students as well. It is rewarding. It definitely is rewarding. What are some of the pros and cons that you see kind of behind the scenes as well as you're trying to provide these various resources for your students?
So let's start with the pros. Is seeing the students move from where they thought things were impossible to now they believe that it's possible. And it's because of the resources or the awareness that we've given them, helping them understand that it's okay to go to a writing center. It's okay to seek tutoring. A lot of times students come into college and they think I should make it. I'm on my own. I should be doing it by myself. And it's like, no, we don't. When I bought a house, I got a real estate agent. When you go to the gym, you get a trainer. You got accountants. Nobody, few people do their taxes themselves. All type of things that go on. You get roofers, carpenters. But students come to college and think I should do it on my own. So it's rewarding when students finally get it and realize that it's a community, they have resources, and they use them. Because that's the thing, students don't use the resources that are there to go from good to great. They don't, so they struggle with that. So it's rewarding to see that. Just to see that light go on and see okay, this is where I get help. This is how I move forward. And this is how I navigate this path. I can pivot here, pivot there, whatever. It's pros to seeing students get it. The cons is a lot of times dealing with colleagues, staff, faculty, we have our lives and we have a different expectation of students. So often what will happen is we work in higher ed. So I say we're smart nerds and all that want to do this, and then we expect the students to be who we were. So if you were an active college student and you went to the tutoring center, you went to the library, you went to professor hours, we expect that students will do that. But what we fail to realize is that this generation has been criticized very different than our generation was. It's more on social media. So now you could be seen going to the food pantry. You could be seen going to tutoring. You could be seen going to the writing center. Somebody videotape you. Oh, they stupid. And now it's out there. So now students have shame for needing help. All right. So that's one thing that I see behind the scenes. So you got to build up that confidence and say, it's okay. Yeah, I'm Dr. Henry, but I was in dropout prevention. Yeah, I'm Dr. Henry, but I struggled in math. You know, there's things like that. So to deal with that end of it, and then to deal with the staff that don't always understand the cultural differences of our students. And so I'll give you an example of some of that difference. So we have professors now at colleges, well, pre-COVID, when we were all in person, that I had to do development around this, where we've had professors that will throw students out of class because they had a hat on. Right. Okay. Something as simple as that. Some schools, take it, and in their mind, their culture, they think when you come into a building, we were taught you take your hat off. Okay, fine. But with these students today, if that lineup ain't right, if they ain't trimmed right, if them edges ain't right, they're gonna wear a hat. Now I've had professors tell me, well, back in my day, you just take the hat off and just deal with the criticism. Nah, not today. See, back in your day, a picture was worth 100 words, 1,000 words. Nowadays, a picture's worth 1,000,000 words. And these kids will get videotaped, the picture took on them, and then it's on social media, and now they're being bullied. So now you have a student that's in a class that's being thrown out for a behavior reason, which is really not a behavior reason, is that student doesn't feel that their appearance is confident for them to take off their hat. Now, does that have anything to do with their actual learning that day? No, but we have these prehistoric rules of students being in class, and so now and asking these students to live by. So now they're in class, they're upset, they're frustrated, and now you're dealing with a retention issue. Students don't want to be there, they don't feel at home, and they feel excluded. So that's the bad part that I see, the cons behind the scenes that we need to help out, and a lot of students are worried.
Yeah. I'm so glad you pointed that out too, because it all connects with one another, right? You're enrolling a student into a program, your academics come into play. If the student is not there, right, mentally to get the academics straight, then retaining them is very hard. That's where other resources come into play and try to keep them there. And then also to all that affects graduation rates. So it all is a train. You have to cater to the student. And that's why we're here as professionals, as educators, in preparing that student. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And so you also mentioned another population of students when it comes down to athletes. You do work with them. You have an incredible book that goes along with your service for them. Talk about that as well.
Okay, yeah. So the book, the one that's right behind me, is College Debunk, How to Go to College on a Football Scholarship. It's for parents, single moms, fathers, high school players, Pop Warner guys, JUCO guys, all of that. Now, I'm originally from Miami, Florida. And if you know anything about college football or the sport of American football, Florida is where it's at. All right. And so I believe that there's so many athletes in Florida. I'm like, I think everybody should be able to go to college because there's so many of us. And then there's so many different divisions of college. There's two parts to the recruiting process. There's the athletic part, and then there's the academic admissions part. The book that you see behind me is about the academic parts of it. Unless you're a superstar athlete, there's other parts of getting into the college. You might get recruited athletically, but you have to academically get into the program. Sometimes you might get a partial scholarship and you still need to work through financial aid and FAFSA and grants and loans and all of that stuff. So I break down that in the book, and then just telling students how to prepare for college. There's GPAs that you have to keep to be academically eligible. And it's very different when students get to college. So in high school, there's weekly tests, or, when you get to college, you have free time and all of that. So I talk to students in that book just about some of the things that you can do to get prepared, some of the things that can increase your recruiting visibility and all of that, as well as the academic pieces of how to prepare yourself.
And that's so important because even in chapter one of my books, I talk about the sports aspect, because sometimes as a recruiter, we hear, especially males, talking Black males, that I've worked with in the past, college, playing sports is not all way of getting in, right? And the only reason I go to college is to play sports. No, it's not. It's a secondary thing. Your primary goal is a degree. So I'm so glad you mentioned the process, because it is a process to get into these schools and getting scouted for these schools, and the academic piece and having your test scores and grades up to par. It's the whole process. It's a
whole process. Yeah.
So I'm so glad you mentioned that, and that source is available to your students as well. But not only that, you're working on something else too. Give us a tea on that.
On the new book that's coming out. Well, okay, so a lot of folks have asked me about my journey. How did I get to where I am now? Because some people that know me from high school or different spaces and places, they hear different things. And so like I said, I'm from Miami, and growing up, man, there was a lot of things that I've dealt with. As far as like watching in criminal justice, I have a master's degree in criminal justice. And one of the reasons why I got involved in criminal justice was seeing the Supreme Court case of Luther Campbell and the 2 Live Crew growing up. Yeah, if any of y'all go back and Google that case. And so the parental explicit advisory that you have on CDs and all that, 2 Live Crew is the reason that you have that, because they had to fight the Supreme, you remember the case, they had to fight the Supreme Court for First Amendment speech and all that, free speech. And just watching that out of Miami and watching them win, that made me interested in the criminal justice system, because I was like, some dudes in Miami won. There's so many things like that I went through, that these lessons that helped me become Dr. Henry, playing football and having that part of my life in Florida. There's a lot of other, I don't want to give too much away, but just, looking at like the 2 Live Crew, 2006 years later, Rick Ross and Flo Rida and all them, and the Miami music, and just, we had to make our own name in Miami. We kind of had our own style. Even now, people don't count Miami as the countryside. It's like the wild city South. It's something different. And so what I did is I took about 6 or 7 lessons that I learned, and I broke them down into chapters, and those lessons that helped me become Dr. Henry. So I'm working with the Title IX, like from Miami to Dr. Henry, 7 lessons that I learned from Miami helped me get my doctorate or something like that. So I'm tied together because I've used a lot of those at different levels, undergraduate, master's, and my doctorate still, in different ways. So yeah, I'm working on it.
Is off the chain right here. When is that? Thank you. You're gonna bring that out to the people. They can.
It'll be early January. I'm trying to shoot for December, but I'm looking at it'll probably be January 23.
I just better know I have my signed copy.
Yeah. And I got another project that I'm working on with some other guys, about 4 or 5 of us working on a mentor book, but that's something else we'll talk. Yeah, we're talking about that too, man. So that's coming up, but the first one is the one that's coming out the soonest.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh, you see, he stays so busy. Influence to anyone that he comes and around with, that connects with him. What do you want the world to know? We're in COVID-19, and especially with the realm of education, we've learned that awesome P word, pivot. That should be like a pivot one-on-one course across higher education period. But you see that we're just going through a lot, and it's affecting our students and also the persons that work with our students as well. What encouraging word do you have for everyone to kind of just sink in and say, okay, we got it. I can sit down a little bit further in my seat.
You know what I would say? We have the ability to get through this. Like, we're different from every other animal, right? We can act different. Like, some of the animals are remote. This is what they do. Alligator gonna be an alligator, all right? But we can act different. So we have the ability to sit down, think about it, and come up with the right answer and move forward. We can do that. We can take a step back, look at it, wait a minute. And what I believe is that we're ready right now to make a change. Like, we got to make a move right now. Back when the pandemic hit and everything happened with George Floyd, America started shifting in a way. And my older brother said this to me before. He said, you can give people all the advice in the world, but they must be ready to receive it. And I believe that when all of that happened, there was this split, and there's a lot more people that are ready to receive it that weren't ready before. So I encourage people to sit down and have those deep conversations about how to get things right, because we got to make the move right now. It's right now. It's like we all sat down. Everybody had a second to chill. I know it's crazy. I know it's rough out there. But we all thought about priorities and started seeing like we all want some of the same things. And so I think I encourage folks to say we can make a change, but we have to sit and have some hard conversations about some things. And it might hurt, but you can get through it. You know, it's not difficult to do if we all get in on it, or majority of us get in on it that needs to be in on it. So I encourage people to sit through it and have it. Yeah.
Get through it, because we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
We've
survived a lot. You know, we've survived more than this, but we've sat down and done that and thought about it and said, okay, then we'll move forward from there.
Exactly. I'm good to say that myself. My dear mentor, y'all. How can they find you on social media?
Finding me on social media. So you can find me, everything is at Dr. Dariel, DT Henry, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just look me up.
TikTok.
TikTok. The website is Dariel DT Henry. If you're looking for me at Regis each year with the recruiting of students, so you can find me at Regis College and look me up there. So yeah, I just tell people, just Google my name and something will come up. And just whatever you get to, I'm gonna answer it. I ain't get this Samsung phone for nothing. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't with you. Y'all, he is my mentor. That's Dr. Henry right there. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Back in a moment.
Next, author Elder Willie E. Hines Jr. Back in a moment.
Yo, this is St. James, singer-songwriter, producer, R&B, baby. And I'm chilling with my man, Michael Finkley, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show. You can check it out live on YouTube, the RokuTV, via the Greater Works Network. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to kick it with my man, Michael. Make sure you tune into his show. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Let's get it, baby.
Can't you see that I just wanna be enough?
She is flexible, and she is a multitasker. She is a wife, a mom. She is city councilwoman.
When I was growing up, Mom worked outside the house, and so my dad was an entrepreneur. I saw him leaving early in the morning or late at nights to go meet with clients, and he was always one who told me, if you show up on time, you're late.
I just admire how she's able to not only juggle the demands of her jobs, but keep her family really first.
The outstanding thing about the Isaac family is their noble contributions to improving the quality of life for our Colombians and people all over this state.
I, Tamika Isaac, do solemnly swear.
Discharge the duties thereof, so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and best wishes.
I first ran because I saw a need, I saw a void that needed to be filled, a voice that wasn't there. And over the last several years, I feel like I've been able to be that voice.
So often as women in whatever spaces that we're in, we're often discounted because we're a mom or we're a wife or we have this career, and she's an everyday woman who shows women what excellence looks like.
She has walked the walk of being a small business person, of being a parent, of sending her kids to school.
Columbia is a great place, and we have done a lot in the last few years as far as law enforcement. But law enforcement can't do everything, nor should it do everything. We have to really expand upon the tools, technology, and community policing, investing in our communities so that law enforcement is a partner with our communities. Being a Columbia native, I've seen the way this city has grown. It's grown to the point that sometimes not everybody's been a part of that growth. I want to make sure that communities, specifically communities of color, make sure that they are part of Columbia's present and its future. I want to have a climate plan for this city that not only helps us be sustainable, but also helps provide opportunities for folks in the workforce. There are so many opportunities to take advantage of technology, green energy. I want to be the advocate for growing our city and being on the forefront, not just looking at what other cities are doing and following them, but being the leader.
If you don't have the right leadership, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities.
I think having a woman as mayor of the city of Columbia is long overdue.
I'm Tamika Isaac Devine, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Columbia.
Need a little motivation? Timothy Clifton is with us every week on Mondays to get your week started with a little motivation, all here on The Michael Finkley Show.
And welcome back to The Michael Finkley Show. Now, my next guest, he holds a very special place in my heart because I was able to work with him during this process of writing his book. So he is Author Willie E. Hines Jr. Thank you for being with us, Willie.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And so, Willie, with this brand new book that you have out now, it talks about your story. So why was it very important for you to tell your story in your own words?
Well, I think for you, and again, first, let me say thank you because you played a major part in helping me with this book. And I really can't thank you enough for what you did to help inspire me to finish the book. But from trauma to triumph, it really was about telling a story about a life that sometimes people may not recognize. They see the outer shell and they think that all things look peachy and cream, and not really realizing that there are people that are hurting, there are people that are going through, there are people who have hidden scars that they have never talked about. And so it was for me a release of past hurt to be able to set myself free. And I didn't even realize at the time how much I needed it. I didn't realize at the time. I never went through counseling. I never had any type of special time that I could talk to someone about this particular things that happened in my life that brought on the trauma that I experienced. But I thought it was important because at the juncture I'm at now, it was relevant to where I am. And so all the things that I have been able to accomplish in my life up to this point was because of what I experienced prior to now, because it propelled me. It gave me a sense of unity to fight, to keep moving forward, and to bring my family together in a way that we can heal together as a family.
Definitely. And I love your journey as into the process. Let's talk about some behind the scenes stuff, right? That's not in the book, right?
Right.
And we were introduced back on last year to assist you with this project by way of our awesome friend, your brother, Chris. And in starting the process, it was something because I know that we had these conversations. I had to pull information out of you to see the bigger picture at times. So how was that for you, though? You actually having to basically uncover these scars that you thought were healed?
Well, let me just say, I did not realize how deeply, deeply broken, hurt feelings that had not been dealt with before. And I will admit to you openly that when we had those conversations, you probably could tell there were times I would grip up, I would tense up. There were times I felt like I could cry and break down. And you would say, really take a few minutes and pause. And that's just, think about it, right? Think about it and take a few minutes. because I will tell you, hands down, every emotion, every feeling, every act of pain, it came alive as I began to talk to you. And so as it became as if it just happened, or it was happening in that very moment, I could see, feel, touch, everything was very tangible, everything was very real. And those moments, I could not even put into words how it impacted me. And it really just sort of let me know, you're not healed, and you need to really get this book out to help other people who have suppressed their hurts, their past, and really have never healed from it. Rather than being healed from it, they just chose not to talk about it. And that wasn't the way to be healed. So my way of getting the book out was to help people be healed and to be able to talk through trauma and then understand on the other side of through of what that looks like. And so here we are right now.
Yeah. Wow. And what a journey, right?
What a journey. What a journey. What a journey.
The journey it has been. And to see the person I see present day and chatting with me now, and what the magnitude of the work that we did together, that you actually brought forth for the people to see, is amazing. And it is an amazing journey, Willie. So let's dive into it just a little bit. We're not gonna give everything away.
Sure, absolutely.
Little teasers, so we talk about your childhood in the book. We talk about your teenage years, going into your adulthood as well to present day where you are. So that's how the book goes. So when dealing with your childhood, right, a lot of things happened, but you had a lot of influence, positive influence as well. And one of those persons that we talked about in your book is your grandmother. Please, what was she like as an individual, and how did you play a part to be the person that you are today?
So as you will find out in the book, and I hope to encourage everyone who haven't already ordered the book to go to williehinesjr.com to order from Trauma to Triumph. But I will say that my grandmother was the backbone. Her name is Julia Hines, but she was the rock of our family, the matriarch of the family. And yes, my childhood was very shattered, very torn, very dysfunctional. However, she was a calm in the midst of the storm. She was my resolve. She was my strength. She was able to anchor us when everything else was seeming to be shakable and not consistent. She was able to keep us together when our family was torn apart. And so when I think about her, I can easily talk about the root of who I am and what that comes from is a strong background of a praying grandmother that held us together when all hell was breaking loose. And this book really speaks about how that happened in my life, and how, thank God for a praying grandmother who said, no, though you look like you're going through, we got something that's going to hold you on. And the words of prayer and the words of definitely confidence and resilience to keep looking to God and trusting him throughout this phase of my life. I didn't realize at the time how much she meant to me, but it spoke volumes in my current life and in my past life of what I saw through her, because she was a resilient woman. And because of her, I am who I am.
You are. Wow. To have that support, to have that influence, to grow into our being because of that, it's just amazing. And you mentioned when you were actually explaining that, you mentioned a touch of your spiritual being. You have to see that this is a man of God that we talk elder in his right. So how did your spirituality get you through these dark times in your life?
Well, when I think back, what I can tell you, Jeremiah 29:11 says it like this: "For I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Even when I didn't even know where God was, and even when I couldn't trace him, he was still there. And so because of that, it was the covering, it was the protection that I didn't even know was being done behind the scenes, but he had a plan for my life before my life even began. And even in my childhood, when I didn't know God like I needed to know him, he was still the source and the strength of my life then that I didn't even realize was there. But it was after I began to come into the knowledge of Christ, after I received the Holy Ghost, after I come to know who him for myself. I'd heard him from my grandmother, but then I experienced him for myself. And then when I experienced him for myself, I found out who he really is. And because of that, you know, I could really hold on. And it wasn't just mere words of what I heard my grandmother say. It's mere reality now, because I can demonstrate what I know. And there's a thing about, there's some things that I know about God now that I don't have to rely on my grandmother's words. I knew him for myself, and I still know him now. And because of that, it was the glue that held me together. And even though my grandmother's gone, I think my family sometimes still look to me now as that person to hold the family together. And I can say, because of that level of faith that God really embedded in me, that I am able to encourage others in the same way. So my faith remains unshakable. My faith remains unremoved. And I firmly believe it was because of my faith that I'm here. No, not perfect. Yes, many mistakes, many trials, many errors along the way. But God saw fit. Yes, he did. But God saw fit to give me the space of time to tell him thank you. Now, I want to be one of the ones that I will never get too high, that I will be like the leper out of the 10. Let me be the one to come back and tell God thank you. And that's where I am in my life right now.
I love it. I love it. You're in for a treat when you read this book. I'm telling you, you're in for a treat. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to smile. It's all in this book. What do you want, in your final words, what do you want the readers to get out of this book?
What I would say to my readers, and thank you again, Dr. Finkley, as I call you affectionately, but I would say what I want the readers to get out of this book is that despite what life has dealt you, there is hope. Despite what life may have triggered in your life, past failures that you did not seem to get over, didn't think you would be where you are, there is hope. When it looked like all things were lost, there is hope. And more importantly, there is victory on the other side of through. If you would have looked at me, people would not have believed when they read the book. Are you sure we're talking about the same person?
Right.
Surely not. That's not the same guy. You must be talking about Johnny down the street. But no, this is Willie Earl Hines Jr. that experienced all those things that you hear about or you will read about in my book. But more importantly, it wasn't that about that he went through it, because David said it like this: it was good for me to be afflicted. And so I thank God for the affliction, because out of the affliction came great resolve and great peace and great strength and great stamina to be here at such a time as this. So that's what I would encourage my readers to understand and know, that there is blessings on the other side of through. And then one of the chapters in my book says coming out of Baca, and that will speak to that level. When you come out of Baca, there's a blessing on the other side of through.
Woo! That was a good way to end it too. That was a good way to end it. Willie, how can they find you on social media, and also how can they purchase your book?
Certainly. Thank you so much. Again, they can simply go to williehinesjr.com to order my book directly online, which I can personally sign the book myself directly. As well, can always go to amazon.com, but I strongly encourage going to williehinesjr.com on my website, as well as Facebook. You can find my name there as well, just by simply Googling it. And From Trauma to Triumph, once you put that information in, I'll be more than happy to respond. But I'll thank you in advance for your patronage and what you'll be doing to help support us in our efforts. And hope and pray that, more importantly, that you'll be encouraged and empowered, that know that victory is in your view. Thank you again, Dr. Finkley. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Please go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go to this website. All your information in the description below. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Willie E. Hines Jr.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Back in a moment.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the White Hope Jr. with Dan Chef Down Top, and you're watching the Michael Finkley Show on RokuTV and YouTube, baby.
Calling all TRIO, Gear Up, JAG, and other college readiness organizations. Hello everybody, it's Finkley with the Finkley Experience. I am here to offer you information about our College Readiness Cohort Series.
This College Readiness Series includes college applications, SAT, ACT prep, scholarships, financial aid, the mental mind state, HBCU versus PWI versus technical colleges, and so much more.
You know, this is helpful because it's actually like making me change my college plan.
Really?
If interested, visit our website, thefinkleyexperience.com, or just email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. We're looking forward to working with you. School districts, organizations, nonprofits, are you in search of a new promotional products company?
Seegers Promotional Products is a Black-owned national company with over 780,000 products to choose from. Compared to other promotional products companies, they have the lowest prices in the industry. From pens, bags, shirts, they got you covered. They always remember that you are the customer and you come first. They always promise fast production and also fast delivery. With Seegers Promotional Products Company, you truly have the best. Check out their website at seegerspromotions.com and also on Facebook and LinkedIn.
And tell them Finkley sent you.
Hey everyone, here's another Inspire Me moment. In 60 seconds, today's thought is, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. This one right here hits differently. That which you feed will grow. How much time do you dedicate to cultivating the essence of your soul? Don't slip into evil while you're trying to live. Find your balance, or you will start leaning in a direction that will find you unfocused and unproductive. Hey, that's all I got for you today. Remember to do all of the things on social media. Hit that like button or that heart on your way out. Now go out and make the day absolutely amazing. As always, thank you for doing all the social media things such as like, comment, follow, subscribe, and share this message on all your media platforms. Even more, hit the bell notification so you never miss a video or an upload.
This is your boy Kenny Lewis, and guess what? I'm here with my boy Michael Finkley on RokuTV and YouTube.
He'll always win. Why? 'Cause he's undefeated.
Next Finkley, celebrity photographer Marcus Jones is with us. And the SOS for Life team is with us to talk about their fantastic organization and how they get back.
It's a party all up and through here. Next Finkley.
Monday.
Hello, welcome back. I hope you learned something from our authors today. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. Thank you so much, Willie Hines, for being with us and telling us your stories in your own special way. Thank you so much, and continue to inspire others through your words. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show. Ring the bell for notification. We'll send you an email saying, hey, new content's uploaded. Please listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And for more information about what we do here on The Michael Finkley Show, visit our website at michaelfinkleyshow.com. RokuTV, right? Of course. Add the Greater Words Network to your RokuTV and watch the Michael Finkley Show every Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on demand. Thank you so much for watching, and guess what? We'll see you next time. Have a good one.